70th anniversary of the Montgomery Bus Boycott. It was that effort that lasted 382 days that kicked off and started the Black Freedom Movement. It was the event that caused America to learn about a young preacher, 25 years old, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We know about Rosa Parks. We know about others as well. But the reality is, this movement, this bus boycott started with the professor on the campus of Alabama State University. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to do the show from there. This here, folks, is a book. It is called The Montgomery Bus Boycott and the Women Who Started It. It's the memoir of Joanne Gibson Robinson. It was edited with the foreword by David J. Garrow. Now, when we talk about the Montgomery Bus Boycott, so many people always talk about Dr. King, Reverend Alton Abernathy, and all the preachers. But it was black women in Montgomery that actually were the ones who spearheaded this movement, who started this movement, and really kicked it off. Joining us right now is Dr. Quentin T. Ross Jr. He is the president of Alabama State University. Glad to see you on the show. And of course, we know what the school colors are, Alabama State, and so it was perfect, Dr. Ross, for you to be dressed like an alpha on Founders Day of A5A. I know you're cute, but it's all good. You're representing your school well, and you're looking good in those alpha colors.
Well, Roland, listen, thank you so much for having me. And let me wish you a happy Founders Day. And I figured you'd probably come out the box on that. But, you know, I always tell you that the black and gold pays the bill, so I'm not complaining at all about that. But I'm happy to know that you all are on the road and getting everything repaired. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I did kind of buck the system. I decided to wear a charcoal gray rather than a black jacket today, just for that reason.
Well, from here it looks black. All right, let's get to it. The reason I wanted to do the show from the campus today is because when people talk about this movement, they don't bring up Joanne Robinson. They don't. I'm talking about nationally, internationally. They don't talk about those black women in that political organization. Y'all have a building named after her on the campus. And for folks who don't know, and again, the reason that the intersection of why Alabama State University is so important is because when she decided to do this, she grabbed two students and I don't know, you may be in the same building, let me know, went to the basement and made 50,000 copies, and that's how they distribute around the country. So this movement directly ties to Alabama State University.
Yes, sir. And when I think about this movement and really, you know, putting it into context, it was 13 years prior to the year I was born. And thinking about what they did back then to impact children that were yet unborn, you and me, it's just amazing. And the impact is still felt today. But when you talk about Joanne Robinson, and it really takes Attorney Fred Gray, who is a graduate of Alabama State University and was the attorney for the bus boycott, to really talk about Professor Joanne Robinson and her tenacity, being the president of the Women's Political Council here in Montgomery. But she also had her run-in on the transportation, with the transportation system, going back and forth with one of the drivers when she sat where they thought she shouldn't have sat when nobody else was around. And so I think that really fueled her fire and her vision to do something here in Montgomery to really impact the transportation system, even down to the point where she had a meeting even prior to the bus boycott with the then mayor of the city to see what could be worked out. And of course, that fell on deaf ears. But she did rise to the occasion. I'm in Council Hall. My office sits on top of the floor the basement, where she and one other professor here at Alabama State University and two students churned out all the leaflets to go on the cars here in Montgomery, Alabama, telling people to stay off of the bus. And that impact was not only felt here, but it was felt across the country. And I really believe when you talk about the bus boycott, really we talk about people sitting down on the bus, but it gave this nation and all of the blacks across this country the ability to stand up wherever they were against any injustice. So we're always excited. This is always a wonderful time of reflection here in the city of Montgomery.
You mentioned the Women's Political Council, and that's critically important because that was the organizational infrastructure that Robinson joined and worked with. And the reality is, those black women, they actually wanted to launch this boycott before December 5th, 1955. But folks were not ready. To your point, she actually sent a letter a couple of days after the Brown versus Board of Education decision in 1954, calling on them to integrate the bus system there. And so this is critically important because those black women, they were mobilized and organized. So when they made the decision, when Claudette Colvin, they talked about that, what happened to Robinson, but when it happened to Rosa Parks, that's when they said, it's go time. And then they activated that button. When she makes the copies, she then takes those copies to multiple sisters, and they were the ones who then distributed all across the community. So I'm making that point because this wasn't an individual trying to do something. That was an organization that was there, that they were able to make this thing happen.
That's correct. That's correct. And they did it in a big way. And not only with that, because they also fed people and transported them as well. The organization just grew to really support the efforts of the bus boycott here in Montgomery. And the impact, again, was felt throughout the nation.
What was amazing about these women is that they put their egos aside. They said, hey, we don't want to get professors in trouble, losing their jobs on campus. So we're going to turn this thing over to the preachers, let them take it from here. That, to me, was an amazing decision.
It was, a fantastic decision that they made, but it was strategic, because today we see, when people are doing something, everybody wants to be out front. But in order to really accomplish the goal, everyone has to play their role and know when to take, to step back in order to push the agenda forward. And so it was critically strategic. I think anyone who wants to talk about organizing or making an impact should really reflect on what happened during that time. But it was an amazing opportunity, and they did the right thing at the right time.
Last question for you. Obviously, the title element of the state is important. What should students today learn from the strategy? Because you don't have a 382-day boycott, and it just happened just because. She details in her memoir all the pieces, how they organized the wagons and the cars and all those different things along those lines. I just think that too often today, when we're talking about doing something, people are operating on emotion, but they're not focused on the strategy of the movement.
No, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, this was strategic, and for young people today, so many things are instant. The social media is instant gratification. But if you truly want to make an impact, I think that you have to strategize. And really pay attention to the steps that were taken during the bus boycott to have an overwhelming impact and a lasting impact. So I agree with you that young people today should really take the issues, particularly that they're advocating for, and look how they can strategically make an impact and not something that will be just so quick. You say it one time, people really don't pay you attention. But if you really want to make an impact, you strategize. Let those who should carry the message. Those who should just push the message. I think a lot can be learned from reflecting back on what took place during the Montgomery Bus Boycott.
All right, Dr. Quentin Ross, a lot of things happening. You're busy. I know you got to go. I appreciate you joining us on this day. We look forward to get to the city. And again, we'll be broadcasting tomorrow from the original Holman Street Baptist Church. We'll be covering tomorrow night's mass meeting as well. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate the opportunity. You all be safe. Thank you so much. Take care.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.